Hey guys, this is Oshi from Tiny Dragon Tarot, and this is going to be our January pick a card because this is already timely, and that just makes it, makes things weird. But I mean, what is time and where did it go and all that stuff. So I'm trying something new today. There's still gonna be 3 pies because I kind of like working in threes, to be honest. I was thinking about offering 4 pies, but my screen is kind of small and I don't know, I'm just liking the 3. But what I'm doing this time, and I think I'm gonna try to stick with this, is we're gonna call these readings 5 elemental readings. One main message is going to come from spirit. That can be anything, and that's what's on the table currently. I'm using the Angelarium Oracle for it right now, this month. And like I said, this is going to be messages from higher self, or just general messages if you're don't believe in any of those. But then we're gonna look at all the 4 elements, and I already pulled oracle cards for each of them, but I didn't shuffle its tarot because I kind of want to see what comes up when I want to add to those messages. And then I'm going to close off the reading with an aspirational card. I don't even know how we say that, because it's the spiritual as fuck deck, so we will see some encouragement or tough love or whatever. We will see what we get. But yeah, those are, that is going to be the makeup of this reading. Hopefully this is going to be useful. Please like, subscribe, leave comments down below. That always helps. And if you want to support the channel, you can find ways to do so in the description as well, with all the decks that I'm using. First one is Amazonite, which is kind of reminds me of bubblegum. I don't know why. The second one is moss agate, and the third one is blue calcite. Calcite, how do you say that? It looks like a piece of sugary sweetness, doesn't it? So these are the 3 options. The timestamps are going to be in the description. Let's jump into pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose this Amazonite, then, or just the number pile number 1, then this is going to be your reading, and your message from spirit is Angel of Death. And if you look at it, it's a beautiful painting. And death is not never, hardly ever literal in readings, so this is not a sign for you to die. That would kind of be mean. Plus, I don't think anyone higher than us would give that information to us, because we couldn't use it for anything but panicking and stuff like that. It's about transformation. So your main message for the month is transformation. And because of how this angel looks, and because of the book, maybe it's the book of life, I think. I'm not necessarily sure about that. Could be the book of Revelations, but I'm not well versed in those aspects anyway. But I'm more like thinking about the book of life, because the angel of death keeps track of all the life, and it has a higher perspective for sure. You can see that this angel has a lot of eyes in their hands. They might be blind, not even sure. I don't know if you can see that on camera. In real life, I'm not sure, but there's plenty of other ways to see. And for me, that tells, it suggests, and it makes me think that if your earthly eyes are on the prize, so to speak, this apple, that might make you blind to what you have, for the other options or other experiences you have around you that could help you with this transformation. So what's important for this month is not just go with facts that your logical mind or your eyes can see and validate. Those are important, obviously, but be open to experience other sort of informations or you know, just different type of experiences where you can get something that would help you with whatever this you know, transformation is. That's just the main theme. So this could be that you're transforming after finishing the year, you're setting up goals and you want to better yourself, like most of us wants to do that. And this card suggests to me that you can benefit from not looking into the typical ways of achieving that. So for example, if, because you know, this is an apple, so let's go with healthy diet, or you know, getting in a better shape. Maybe your first initial reaction is, okay, I'm gonna, you know, start a new diet and I'm gonna throw away everything and all the junk food and just, you know, go and, I don't know, exercise in a certain way that other people tell me, or even what was successful previously but you couldn't stick to it for some reason. But this in this instant there might be something worth looking into, how to slowly change your diet, or what else, or what it is exactly that you need to change into. Because you know, what you might want can be achieved better ways in a different approach, if this makes any sense. But you know, this is just an example, so it can be about any sort of transformation. Like, I'm on this road as well, so don't worry. Okay, and let's see, I don't know how much space I will have, so probably we're gonna do 2 elements at a time, I think. So let's check earth and water first. For earth we have protection, and for water we have transparency. And yeah, oh, I'm gonna use it in this way, we're not gonna be bothered by that. And you know, earth protection is not just about, you know, in a spiritual sense that, oh, you're protected and whatever you're trying to do is, you know, guided by your spirit guides, or just, you know, the universe, spirits, whatever you believe in. That's pretty much always the case, even if we're blind to that protection, or we're doing everything we can do to just ignore that, because you know, we're humans, we kind of do that. Because this is the earthly element, and I didn't say that, but for this element we're connecting everything that's happening in the 3D, our everyday life, our diet, for example, what I said, our finances, our, you know, just the earthly things that's connected to being grounded, being on the ground and being connected to it. And for me, it really gives off, you know, protect yourself from sickness and illness, because it's still the winter, at least in this hemisphere. So it could be, what is it, if it's winter, it's summer on the other side. But you know, in the summer you can also get cold if you don't pay attention. Maybe the temperature changes too much between the day and the night, and you know, you're just running around not wearing anything pretty much all day, and then suddenly it's cold and you get a cold. And you know, here where it's winter, it's even more easier because it's not a typical winter in most places anymore, so we don't pay attention to early signs of cold and illness. And I'm not talking about the other C word here, I don't think this is connected to that. It's more about using practical GreenWitch sort of type of protection, like onion can be very good for dealing with viruses, you know, not that one, because that's a different one, but in general, you know, cold and stuff like that. So it very much connects to the diet part, because you can protect your health the best way if you're eating healthy, if you're eating things that are helping and boosting your immune system. So be mindful about that. it's gonna be an important thing to actively do this month, not just, you know, talk about, oh, I need to get in better shape because I want to look better. You know, you should make your body stronger and healthier, because that helps you in the long run. So, you know, with this transformation is nothing quick. I forgot to say that, but this is not the quick fab diet sort of transformation. I'm just gonna stick to the diet because we're having this conversation over here. This is the slow but sure transformation. So if you're planning on, you know, starting a new diet or exercise routine, or just generally getting into healthier habits, that's a very good sign. You're absolutely not just protected, but you're supported in that endeavor. But you need to be mindful and actually do your research, you know, read books about the subject. I mean, there's still days to do this before the new year starts, and you don't have to start it on the 1st of January. In fact, wait until the 3rd or even a bit longer, so that you have time to prepare yourself. You know, it's better to do the harder work and actually read books and make things clear for yourself than just go with something that's readily available. Yes, okay, that's for the earth. We have transparency with water, and I just love this combination because I didn't assign elements to these cards, but you know, clear water is transparent, and you can only know that it, you know, if you look at water and you see that it's muddy, you won't want to drink it because you know that something is wrong with it. And we have that instinct with water. We have that instinct, even though we sometimes very much work on pushing that down. But you know, since you're here watching this reading, we have those instincts about other people, that when we're sensing that their water, so to speak, their emotional state, or just, you know, their spiritual self, them as beings are not clear, they are hiding something, we pick up on that. I think our first gut reaction when we meet someone can be very telling. I'm not saying it's right, but we shouldn't ignore it. And in this case, it's going to be very important to not just, you know, I don't think you're the one who needs to be honest. I think you're coming from a very honest place in general, especially because you're working on bettering yourself. But don't ignore the state of other people's water. That's gonna be, you know, the emotional side and emotional advice for the month, because the water element connects to emotions and how we perceive other people. But let's pull a few, even though I'm not even sure if tarot cards are needed. I kind of like this oracle system. Do let me know, what do you prefer, if I pull extra cards or if I don't. Let's see, give me one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of want one more. Okay, and we need to do just one more so that I can have my OCD, which is not a real OCD. I'm perfectly fine and aware of that, but you know, it needs to look a certain way for me to feel good about the reading, and this is it. So these are connected to the earthly and watery element and kind of the spiritual part. We have the Seven of Pentacles, which ties into with everything that I said. The Seven of Pentacles is about, you know, slow transformation, slow changes when you do the work. So like I said, read the books, do your research, and then you can just, so to speak, sit down, relax, and watch things happen. But you can only do that because you did your best. You did the work. You know, you were not lazy about it. You actually did your research, and you did your best to find something that would work. And we have the Ace of Wands here, which is, I'm just looking at, there's a lot of, I mean, we have pentacles that connects obviously to the earthly realm. There's no water. I mean, some with the High Priestess, but we have a lot of fire, which it's not yet on the table, so it's quite interesting. And you know, this just shows how the 4 elements or 5 elements are mixed in ourselves and in our lives. You know, we don't experience these things separately, so that's a good reminder. But the Ace of Wands is one of my favorite ones, especially when it comes to trying at new things, because this is the let's start throwing things at the wall and see what stick sort of ones. And it's a reminder that when you start doing the research into this transformation, what you want to transform in your life, you need to try, like I said, you need to try different methods. You know, don't just go with one option. The Ace of Wands is that spark that can come from anything, and it's not one sure way, like how fire you know, starts building itself up. It doesn't burn where you know, start the fire. I mean, normally you should, you know, contain it, but fire goes where, in whatever direction it's easier for them, you know, it's easier for it. And it's kind of like that too. You know, you start reading about something, you go into a site where their diet plans are listed, and then you see a comment and someone mentions a different one, and then you get interested and you go and research that leads to somewhere else, and that is what you are looking for. And we have the Sun, which is great because it means that you will get not just you will get clarity on what you want. And you know, that's why you know, you will experience this 7 of Pentacles, because you will have that clarity that's needed for the journey to be not just start, but you know, the journey to take place in a road that you need to walk down. And normally I'm focused more on the clarity part of the Sun, but in this case I think it's telling you that if you do the research, if you do the work, a longer period of happy and harmonious time is waiting for you. And for some of you, that might connect to a relationship. You know, we have the High Priestess as well, so it's definitely up to your intuition. Like I said, use your intuition to see how muddy some person's water is. But for some of you, if you're looking for a relationship, this is, you know, the 4 of Wands is typically could be twin flame. I'm not happy with the whole thing, the twin flame things. I think a lot of people just use that as an excuse to stay in abusive relationships. As much as I understand, a twin flame connection is absolutely not about that, and it's not even a fun thing to experience. So I'm just saying that if you don't know a lot about twin flames, maybe you should look into that. But it's celebration, and it can be marriage for some. And if you're not in a relationship, it can mean that if you keep your eyes open, you know, use your intuition about people, you might have a very strong chance to meet someone, like I said, if you're looking for that, who would prove to be what came to mind sounds ridiculous. Good idea for a long-term relationship, but we're not saying that about people. So it's just sometimes, you know, the words that come during these readings are, you know, quite funny. But it's, you know, when you're like, oh, okay, I can see that. I can see that happening, and you have a good feeling about them. So if you're looking for relationships, definitely trust your intuition, because you will know how transparent the other person is. And if you're in a relationship, this could mean that you're going to experience a very joyful and connected period of time with the Sun and the 4 of Wands here, and the High Priestess, when you're very in tune to each other, and you know, maybe that sort of new love state can be achieved this month, even if you're together for a longer period of time. you have to work on it, you know, you have to put some work in it, maybe try out different things with this Ace of Wands. And it doesn't have to be sexual, it can be, definitely, but it doesn't have to be. It's just a new creative way of spicing up things in a relationship. And, you know, that sentence can mean so much and so different to everybody and anybody. So just, you know, take what resonates always. But let's move on to the other elements, because we want to see. And I'm not sure what I want with the tarot yet. I mean, I'm gonna pull because I kind of like the affirmation that came out of it. I think I'm gonna keep this angel here. I really like looking at it, to be honest. Okay, we have air and fire, and I kind of like how they can go and confront, you know, each other. They are the opposite energies, and I'm quite curious if that's gonna matter or not. Okay, for the air, interestingly, we have the solar flares activate, which is connected to the sun, which is fire, so we might see some crossing here. And oh, we have time with fire. That's very interesting. Because, you know, normally with fire, you're burning quickly. You want to done everything and anything quickly. And fire is connected to passion, your creativity. Water is also connected to creativity, but I connect creativity more with fire, to be honest. I don't like to assign the same thing to, you know, different elements, but, you know, you might be different. And, you know, air connects to all the intelligence, all the air, all the head space we have, our thoughts, our discussions or skills, or communication skills and stuff like that. Everything connecting to the spoken word, because, you know, we need air to be able to, you know, speak. But, you know, fire also needs air to exist. But like I said, we have time for fire, but we also have, you know, the slow transformation. So I think this is all about, don't give in to the desire to quickly burn things up, to quickly be done with things. You might have to be very conscious about slowing yourself down and burning slowly, because, you know, if you think about a bonfire, and you can hear our dog barking. So maybe there's gonna be a dog in your life in January, I don't know. But if that would matter, you guys have a lot of dogs because I'm surrounded with them. But what I meant to say with the bonfire, you know, at first it burns very brightly and very visibly and vividly and strongly and quite dangerously. But after a while, when it, you know, starts to slow down, you can start using that fire to cook on it, to, you know, heat yourself up, and, you know, it becomes something not just less dangerous but actually usable. And I think this is the metaphor for our creative and passionate energies, that if you manage to do things a more slower pace than you normally would want to, you're gonna get longer, you're gonna get the effect, the desired effect in a longer, you know, period of time, for longer than normally you would do. And with the air and solar flares and activate, which is kind of interesting, it's pointing down. I think, if you use meditation or you use affirmations, that can be very helpful for you to activate those thoughts in a way that can be used. But also, if you're a spiritual person and you're working on being more spiritual, you can get a lot of downloads this January. Because if you think about it, it kind of looks like this points down. The sun is the main source, and you're getting the information down. So I'm kind of getting that feeling. Okay, so let's pull some tarot cards and see what this more about. I mean, I'm kind of guessing we're clear on that one, but I'm curious about the air more. Okay. Okay, Nine of Swords, yes, connecting to the element for sure. And you know, the Nine of Swords is the knight who gets the information and then able to act on it. Sometimes, you know, they say things that they don't mean to, or say it in a way that they don't mean to say it. So that's why, you know, that's why air is connected to communication. So it's important to be mindful about your words, but I think that's usually true. And we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so Five of Pentacles usually is feeling isolated and feeling lost, and experiencing, yes, isolation and you know, being alone. And even though we didn't get the Hermit energy, and this is, you know, earthly element, I'm kind of getting the feeling, and look at that, you know, the same, getting the download that maybe you're going to start a transformation when certain people in the 3D might soon leave your life, because you're gonna start changing into something that they don't resonate, or you don't resonate with them anymore. But this has a V shape as well. You know, everything is coming down, and you might feel isolated and alone, and you think that you're alone with this change. But that's just going to be the temporary feeling that you know, you're experiencing. It's not what's actually happening. It's just part of the process, because when we are doing a big transformation, when we're instigating big changes in our lives, those people who knew us before that might resist this change, and because, you know, because they know how you were before you did this transformation, and they want that because that's safe and secure for them. But that can't stop you from you know, changing. And we have another four, the Four of Swords. So it's important not just to rest, but, you know, I kind of getting that, oh, look at that, we're coming from the Nine of Swords to the King of Swords. I like that. So yeah, this is the transformation. You're leveling up, you're stepping up your game, especially connected to your air element, your intelligence, your manifestation, your communication skills, and your plans for the future, because the King of Swords is the strategist. He knows how to move things around in the chessboard, because he has that higher point of view to know that what steps he needs to take for him to be able to, it doesn't matter, you know, him, her, it's just the more active masculine energy, and we have the activated much more, you know, active energy with this one as well. But you know, the road is not going to be that easy. You might start, like I said, not losing people, because I think it's more gonna be letting them go, because you realize that you have to, because you don't speak the same language anymore. And we also have the Four of Swords, so it's a reminder that even though, like I said, it's connected to this one, you want to burn brightly, you want to do everything all at once, but you need to slow things down. That's the way to do things. Use your mind more than the fire that you want, you know, your energy. Okay, so that's it. But your what is it called, affirmation card for the month is not giving a fuck is better than revenge. And you know, letting people go. Don't try to, you know, tell them why you're letting them go. You can read the back if you want to. You can stop the video. But yeah, You don't need to explain yourself to other people and why why you want to do these changes. It's for your benefit, and if someone doesn't accept that and doesn't support it, then they don't have a place in your life. That's so simple. It's not as simple to experience it, but on a surface level, it is that simple. So hope this was useful. It's a quite an interesting month, so please do comment down below if this resonates. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. I'm really trying to start with the new year with live readings as well. You can suggest a topic for pick a card reading as well. And yeah, that's all. See you in the next one. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Bye. Okay, pile number 2, I'm really sorry, but for some reason my camera decided to stop recording shortly after I started this reading, so I will try to say everything that I already said, but I hate when that happens because I always feel like I'm losing information that I was supposed to give you. It's just, iPhones are acting up these days and I just don't get why. So yeah, your main energy is spirituality, and like I said, I mean, you don't know that, but I said that if you're not spiritual or you're not interested in being spiritual, then this is definitely not your pile. Since the main energy for this month is spirituality, it means that you're going to experience getting downloads and experience more, deepening your knowledge about certain spiritual topics than, previously. And how I did the reading is that I pulled a card for each of the 4 elements on top of, getting the main, the spiritual, the 5th element. And I pulled 1 card for each oracle and then some tarot. So unfortunately, like I said, I already saw these cards. So I will try to do my best, and trust me, I'm annoyed. Which is funny because your earthly card is tranquility, which means that in the day-to-day, everyday life, financial aspect of the month, you're going to experience calm and contentness more than normally. That's going to be the main energy for the month, which is lovely. And with water, which is our emotions and our emotional realm, you have the friendship card, and this could mean 2 things. That if you have a support system already, it's a month where you're supposed to reach out and, hang with friends in any sort of way possible. But if you don't have a friendship that reminds you of these, these houses are very similar, but they still have their own individuality, but they stick together, they protect each other. And, if you don't have that type of friendship, this month is going to be a good idea or good time to start finding these people, because they are out there. You just have to find them. And the tarot cards that I pulled was the Sun, which is lovely, and we had that in the first group as well, especially connecting to the earthly element, because it doesn't just mean getting clear on things. It also means that you're going to experience a longer period of harmonious, joyous time. And with your everyday life being in this place, that's definitely possible. But we also have the 5 of Cups, which means that, okay, I'm gonna put down the cards because there's just no point. So these were the cards that I pulled. Let's see, let's hope you can see all of them. So we have the 5 of Cups, which is about not just experiencing a loss, because that would be the 3 of Swords. It's about getting too caught up in experiencing this grief, this loss, and not being able to move on from it. And we have the 9 of Wands and the Hermit, and with the friendship card, it gave me that feeling that you're on the defense of relationships, friendships, meeting with people, because for obvious reason you might not feel safe meeting with people, but your emotional needs are definitely craving for this connection, you know, craving for friendships. And because we have the High Priestess here, connecting to the spiritual card, meaning your intuition is going to, you know, opening up, getting stronger. You're going to get information you haven't had before. I'm kind of getting the feeling that your friends or the friendships that you're looking for, if, like I said, if you don't have them already, if you have those already, make sure you're spending time with them, even if it's, you know, online. But if you don't have that, if you feel like you were a hermit, you were always on the defense because of this past hurt, which could have happened recently, but I kind of feel like it was something that happened in the past, you know, years ago probably, because this is probably something that's not obvious to you that you're still holding on to. But with the downloads, you know, with the new information that you're going to experience, and I gave the example of buying a book on Kindle, and I think that's a good one. You're not going to get the information all at once. Like if you buy a book digital, it doesn't matter where, you get the whole book all at once after you paid. Here you're paying constantly, but you're getting the information in chunks that you can actually deal with. So those can be emotions, those can be dreams, words, signs, anything, you know, in the realm that you're experiencing this growth. And this is, you know, this is a general reading, so that can be anything. But it also kind of makes me think that you might, like I said, if you're looking for friends, you might want to look around in the spiritual community, because there's a lot of lovely people there. So you might find the like-minded, supportive people over there. Okay, so I'm really sorry. I really hate this when it happens. And I always try to, you know, pay attention to my recording, but sometimes this happens. So we still have a few cards to look through, so don't worry, I'm going to pay attention more. Okay, we have fire and air. Let's see if they are conflicting or they are supporting each other. Oh, we have knowledge. Nice. And look at how similar the colors for these two cards are. And we have, for the air, 6th house sustainability with all the chakras. And for 4, if, you know, 4 could be significant, 8, strength could be significant. And, you know, you can't be sustainable, you can't reach this sustained, is that a word even, place without, you know, having strength. Okay, it doesn't, you know, even though all the chakras are here, it's definitely connecting. You know, for me, the first one that I looked at, because of the, what is it called? Not a globe, it's pretty much like a Wheel of Fortune. But, you know, that hones in, or, you know, targets the crown chakra, or it's between the third eye and the crown, so that's very interesting. Okay. I mean, I'm assuming there's the crown chakra, you know, where you get the downloads. If you see, if you look at the cards, this is very similar. You know, there's the invisible hand here who's kind of directing the energy down there. And we have someone who's holding a wheel that connects and directs the energy into the crown chakra, because that's where we're getting the information. So because we have that for the air element, how you're going to get these downloads is going to be connected to intellect and the mind. So I'm definitely thinking about dreams and listening to music, to people saying things. Maybe listen to what is it called? Not TED Talks, but you know, spiritual. I'm not finding the word that I'm looking for. Programs. Let's use that old-fashioned word, because you might hear something that will, you know, turn on something. The crown chakra is definitely important. So if you never worked with it, maybe look into meditation, targeting the crown chakra, or I don't even know, energy work. Maybe check if your crown chakra is balanced, unbalanced, how things are. And we have knowledge with fire, and I kind of like that, because in this interesting looking dragon, the head is bigger, you know, and it kind of suggests to me that the fire of this dragon is stored in the mind. So your passion, because the fire element is connected to anything and everything you feel passionate about. It can be sexuality, but this is very much an air sign ruled reading. So one of the interpretation could be that let your head rule over your gut and your other lower body parts, because the knowledge you're looking for and you need to actually receive, I kind of feel like there's a need to pay attention. I know that this is the design, but it kind of looks like, you know, again, the downloading is going to connect to your head, so you have to keep your head cool, because this, you know, this dragon is definitely not the fiery one. It's someone who's restraining there in the fire, because they know that it's not time to release that yet. So if you're planning on doing something creative, it's not the time, this month is not going to be the time to start with it yet. It's waiting for that inspiration that's going to come from spirit, from a higher realm, higher stuff, God, whatever you believe in. Okay, this is quite interesting. So let's pull some tarot cards, because I want to know more. Because it's, like I said, it's quite interesting. Whoops. Okay. King of Swords. Interesting. We have quite a few repeating cards. And yeah, the King of Swords is someone who's, you know, level-headed and cool-headed, because they know that in order to move ahead with the plan they set up, they have to keep their cool. Because, you know, if they give into emotions, if they give into passion, okay, Ace of Swords, they're gonna lose the advantage they have, because the King of Swords is a great strategist. We have the Ace of Swords, so there's going to be an opportunity, so don't worry. You know, I'm not asking you, I'm not telling you to hold back this creative idea that you have forever, because there's going to be an opportunity where you're finally, something is going to click, and you're gonna be able to start acting on the information you're getting, and you're going to be able to go into a direction that is truly meant for you. Oh, okay. The Eight of Swords, things are going to pick up quite fast for sure. So because of the 8, but the 8 of Swords is, you might experience, I'm kind of loving this, you know, everything is pointing down in these two cards, you know, getting the download, starting to act on it, but then getting into the confused state, because you start doubting yourself. And that's why you need to keep your cool, because you're human, we're all human, we start doubting ourselves when something starts working in a way that we never experienced before. So if you're, you know, new to spirituality and you're getting this new information, you might start thinking that you're crazy and everybody else is crazy. So obviously not true. And yeah, that can lead to you know, sleepless nights. But we also have the Six of Pentacles, so it's going to balance itself out in the end, and you're going to experience not just calmness again, but I'm getting the feeling of finally being able to let go of the need for control. Because maybe that's why you're asked to not use your fire at first, because you have to learn how to trust that things are happening for a certain reason. But also with the Six of Pentacles, which is, you know, generosity and sharing, you're going to reach a state where you realize that it's not just you who's getting this generous information and experiences, but you're going to get into a place where you can start giving back. And you know, you have the Friendship card, and I'm kind of getting that feeling that because you are going to find your own people, if you haven't already, but if you have them, you're going to realize that you can do much more for them as well. Because you definitely use them. Use them is not, you know, a good word, but if they, you know, your friends offer help, accept it. If they can ease your mind, let them. Because once you're out of this 8 and 9 of swords, very self-doubting and not a very peaceful state, you're gonna be able to, you know, give back and reach a much more calmer place, which I love, because I love that. And your I love your affirmation cards, because you have manifest the fuck out of your dreams. Yeah, you're on the verge of, you know, you can do and get everything that you want, but you have to, you know, go at it very smartly. And I'm gonna show you the back, so if you want to read it, just, you know, stop. But yeah, you know, make a to-do list. This card is a reminder to go at it the smart way, because manifestation is not just, oh, I wish I had or I want a car that's so beautiful and whatever. I don't know. I don't want a car. Okay, I want a 1960. No, I wanted, what do I want? 1964 Ford Mustang, but you know, I would never drive it, so what's the point? So I'm not manifesting that, because there's no point manifesting something that I don't want in my life, for sure, you know, for real. It's just, don't think about the pretty things, think about the things you get value out of it, like the friendship. I think this is very important as well for you. But yeah, this was your kind of interesting reading. I mean, the recording as well. I'm really sorry for the first part. But hope this was useful. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, because that helps my channel and, you know, helps me to know that what I'm doing is actually useful for someone, because that's what I'm doing it. Also hit that bell icon, because I'm going to go live, and if you want, you know, if you have a question, you can get a reading during those lives as well. But other than that, have a lovely and enjoyable and exciting January, because this can be very exciting. So yeah, just remember. Bye. Hello, pie number 3. If you chose this blue calcite, then you might thinking about eating a candy. But then this is your thing. I mean, I would understand. Oh, we have submission. Interesting. So this is more about learning that you're not in control than, you know, submitting to people. It's not about submitting people, because we don't do that around here, at least. It's about submitting to the idea, to accept the idea that not everything is in your control, and that might be something that you have a hard time accepting. So the month can either be about experiencing how to, or you're going to get things happening to you where you realize that no matter what you do, sometimes your best intentions, your biggest efforts are useless because what you're trying to achieve is not what you're supposed to experience. And that sucks. But I think after a while, when we experience enough from life, we realize that this is the case. And when we're living our 3D experience, we're not privy to everything and all the information that the spirit realm is privy to. And there's a reason for that. I strongly believe that our physical body, our physical form, is not able to handle all the information that the universe can hold. I mean, just if you think about it on a very practical level, like we can't understand how big the universe is. We don't know. I mean, when you say an ever-expanding galaxy, what does it even mean? That's such an abstract idea that we can't wrap our tiny mind around it. And there's a reason for that. We're not here on this earth in this life to experience the knowledge of an ever-expanding universe. We're here to experience the earthly things, the emotional things, our intellectual and our passionate and our fiery, things, because those are the elements that put us all together. And spirit being the fifth element and the glue, so to speak. So that's quite an interesting one for you. But let's see what your card is for the earthly, everyday, 3D, financial element, where you need to be grounded. This is where you're rooted. And we have longevity. Okay. With a pocket watch. And I think that's Scorpio. Yeah, it has to be Scorpio as well, which I think Scorpios are very stubborn, but please do get annoyed with me and tell me I'm wrong. But Scorpio, oh yeah, I mean, clearly just from personal experience. And I'm not saying all the Scorpios are the same, because we're not just one sign, but I have a few of Scorpios in my life, very close and personal connections. And the one thing that they all struggle with, and there's not a lot of common in them, they are quite different people for obvious reasons. They are not just Scorpios. But the thing that they all struggle with is accepting help. So, the submission card could be talking about that you're going to experience, doesn't matter if you're a Scorpio, you could have a Scorpio placement, or you could deal with a Scorpio who's struggling with accepting help. And we have the 39, which reduces to the 12, which is the Hanged Man, someone who needs to change their perspective. And, with the submission as well, because once you accept the fact that you don't have control over everything, and you're not supposed to have that, you can start working on things that will be part of your life in a much longer, someone with a substance. And I know this is a pocket watch, but it really does make me think about the Wheel of Fortune. So things are going to change if you let go, if you let go of the need for knowing everything and thinking that you clearly figured things out. And I just love that your water and emotional card for the month is Shadow Work, because that's a very important card in the deck, and it's a great opportunity to dig deep into yourself and realize, and you have to figure out why you have this fear, because that's what I'm picking on. This, you're holding on to like this, and you're holding on to the notion that you're in control because you're terrified to realize, to experience what it means if you're not in control. So you could be someone who's not that spiritual actually. And I'm not sure if you want to open, you know, into that direction. You will see the other cards. You might not need to. What you need to accept is you're just one human, and you just simply can't do everything all alone. And what came with the Scorpio card, which is, you know, the card was not about that, but that was the most important message, is that you need to accept, not accept, but that one too, but accept help to deal with whatever is hiding in the shadow. And you know, shadow work is not fun, and it's not easy, and it can be triggering. So I have pick a card readings, I think on this channel. I'm not sure if I've uploaded something on this channel, but on my main channel for sure. So check out those videos as well. If you need help starting with shadow work, you can reach out for help as well, especially on Instagram. I do one card readings, so if you don't know where your shadow area is, you can just, you know, ask for help. I'm glad to do that. But you know, we're gonna pull some cards, so there might be answer in the tarot as well. But there's a lot of splashing water outside, and it's, oh yay, sorry, but I just saw that it's raining, and you know, it's supposed to be snowing, so yay. I'm just sad. It just makes me sad that winter is pretty much an autumn. There's no snow, nothing wonderful and winter wonderlandish. Okay, let's get some cards, please. Okay, the other pies, the cards were like jumping out left and right. We have 10 of Wands. Okay, not surprising. 10 of Wands is all about carrying extra responsibility and, you know, not letting anybody help you because you can do that and it's your responsibility. But it's not your responsibility alone. Whatever you're dealing with in your everyday life, there has to be people around you who can help, or, you know, if they are not your friends, for example, you know, if the extra load is coming from the workplace, then you have colleagues that probably are not pulling their weight as well. So please be mindful of that. And even if that's not true, you have to admit and realize that you're just one tiny human. You're not going to be able to carry everyone and everything on your back. What this attitude is going to lead is experiencing heartbreak, because I'm kind of getting that feeling as well, that you're hoping someone would realize that you're carrying this extra weight, that you're doing too much, and you know, they would help, but you're not saying that. You're acting like you're in control and you know what you're doing, and because people are like, okay, this person is, you know, clearly knows what they're doing and they don't need help, they're not helping, and then you get, you know, you feel hurt because they didn't realize that you needed that help. But you know, that's the thing with people. If you don't tell them clearly what you want, they're not going to know that. And even if you tell them clearly, they still gonna be you know, there's still gonna be misunderstandings in the situation. So yeah, clear communication and letting people help you, because currently you're in a very me against us, us as me, the collective, me against them state. You think that you need to protect yourself because no one is on your side, which is very, very sad and lonely. And I feel really sad for you, and not in a pitying and, you know, looking down way. It's just your shadow work might be here where maybe you don't accept help because you think you don't deserve it. Maybe you don't, you know, you're struggling to see your own worth, and you think that the only way you can be useful for other people or a useful member of society is if you know, do everything that's, even if it's not your job. Okay, what was that? Yeah, Eight of Swords, definitely. It's all, these things are all in your head, which doesn't make them any you know, less hard to deal with them. But the good thing is that when they are all in your head, in that dark room that you're avoiding, you can, you know, cut the tie that keeps you unable to move and move forward and get out of this Eight of Swords place. Okay, let's get something. Okay, awesome. I was like, let's get something positive. And we have the Queen of Cups. And because we have that in the water realm, you know, in the emotional realm, and I'm not seeing that suddenly you became this queen. Doesn't have to be, you know, gender specific. This is just much more the nurturing, accepting, and loving energy. And I'm thinking that you might probably either meet someone who embodies this energy, this, you know, the energy that I'm getting is the motherly hug. You will meet someone who will be able to just get through your walls, or maybe not. Maybe you will have to work on letting someone in. But you know, if you do that, if you take the first step and work on the shadow area, which is probably you know, putting up too much fences to protect yourself because you don't think that anybody would love you if you do, you know, if they see the real you. And like I said, you probably connect your worth too much on the earthly accomplishments. So maybe you're someone who works very hard for creating a legacy because you think that that's the only way that people will think about you as someone who worth even talking to or, you know, caring about. But if you dare to step into this room, and I'm gonna take this card out because I think it's important to be here. If you dare to step into this room, you will be able to meet this person who's going to give you emotional support and care and love in a way that is right for you, where you're not going to be able to not accept it. And that's going to, you know, that's the submission coming from you. You have to accept the fact that you need help and you need care and you need love. And that's not a horrible, and it's not a horrible thing. It's not a weak thing. It's a very human thing. We all want that. You know, even this Queen of Cups is someone who needs all these things, but because they are already in the Queen stage, they can give without emptying their own cup, without hurting themselves. They can set up healthy boundaries and help you maybe love yourself a little more because they know how to do that. So they are coming, they are here. If they might be someone in your life already that you have this feeling and you thought about this person when I said this, but you're keeping them, you know, at arm's length because you're like, no. But if you don't have anyone like that, then they are around you energetically. They want to come in, they want to be the part of your life. And that's why Spirit is like, dude, it's time to do this. We are hurting yourself for not facing these things. Because if you do that, they're gonna be there. Because you're gonna make space for them. Okay, that's quite heavy for this part. So let's see what the other two elements for you are. We have air and fire. And you know, they can they can support each other or they can cancel each other out, so I'm quite curious. what you will have. You have protection, finding what's important with fire, and conjunction and aliens. Ahaha, yes, with air. And if you look at them, they are looking at each other. And there could be the problem. That's why I was saying what I'm saying. That, you know, I was thinking about more like they're going to cancel each other out, but they don't cancel each other out if you don't let them. If you look at this picture, this angel in here is like, stop, guys, we need to see that we're all still on the same side, you know, because this element, the air element, wants alliance. It wants connection. Your mind, your intellectual side wants someone that you can have conversations with. And we have the 51 that reduces to 6, which is lovers. You know, it's a loving energy, but it's also a choice that's good for you, that needs to come from the heart. So there's a disconnect there as well. And we have protection, you know, with the fire, with this dragon. And I'm feeling that this is you. You know, you're protecting yourself because you think you need to. But finding what's important is a key sentence here, because if you find what's important, you realize that these two sides are not against each other. They are actually, you know, they would actually help each other. And I'm getting a really, you know, this could be your intellectual side and your emotional, fiery, passionate side. You know, you want to protect yourself because that you experienced something in the past and you don't, you know, for all the shadow work thing that we talked about previously. But your mind is already craving, you know, you see other people and their connection and you want that. You just don't know how to get it. You have to find your people. You know, like I said, you have to find help and you have to find your own people. Page of Cups. You're at the beginning of a journey of learning how to deal with your own emotions. The pages are, and that's important for you, open to receive knowledge, you know, submit to the idea that you don't know everything. They're curious, but they can sometimes fall into the trap of oversharing. Okay, that's too much. Because they just don't, you know, they go from not sharing anything to sharing everything because they think that that's needed. They also share way too openly with people that they don't need to or they shouldn't, but I don't see that with you because you're too protected. It's more about learning how to open up, how to let people see what's in your cups, pretty much. Yeah, 8 of Cups. It's not an easy way to walk away from the state where you were in previously, because you, even though it's no longer serving you, being alone, being this closed off, this is what you know for so long, but you can find that star, wish upon a star and start moving forward. It's not an easy change to make, but we have the 6 of Pentacles, which is all about finding balance and being generous. And in your case, it's more about accepting help, because, you know, if you look at the original illustration for this card, there's a wealthy person who's giving money to a poor person, but you never know which one is you in the picture. You can be the wealthy person who needs to be more generous, or you can be the poor person, and it doesn't have to be, you know, financially. In this case, it's emotionally, in a way, where you have to accept other people's love and support and help that they are offering. And for you, that, you know, it's not an easy thing to do, but you can start this journey. And I like that you can, you know, become this empress, because in this case I'm feeling that this is about you. It's not that other person, because this is, you know, evolution, leveling up, obviously, if you do the work. And it's not gender specific. The Empress is someone who's nurturing, who's creative, who's caring, and to be honest, a very kick-ass woman. You know, Mother Nature. I mean, I look at the Empress as Mother Nature. Mother Nature takes care of everybody, but even if you don't feel it yet, but if you look around what's happening, like, you know, it's raining now, it's not snowing. Mother Nature is not going to let us get away with things without consequences. So you're not going to turn into a fluffy ball that you probably despise, but you're going to be able to experience your emotional self, your emotional body much more. And the last one is the Seven of Cups. And in this case, because normally this is procrastination, not able to, you know, choosing from a lot of options, but in this case I'm feeling that after, you know, you do the work, and there's going to be a lot of work, there's going to be options, there's going to be other people, other cups that you can find, other connections. And maybe for some of you, something connecting to your passion, because, you know, once you let go the emotional restraints that you have, you open up your creative side, that is connected to water and fire. Even though I like creativity with fire, it's connected to, you know, emotions as well. And you will have options maybe with finding a new way of life in general. This could be, for some of you, this could be a new workplace, a new job, a new position at the place where you're currently at. But that's just for some of you. Okay, and your affirmation card for the month is, oh, things get harder before you level up. Know that. And this is the back, so you can pause the video to read it if you want to. And yeah, here's your card. I'm just gonna leave this here. If you want to make a screenshot, put it somewhere there where you're gonna remember to look in at daily, because this is a reminder that you need to have. You have a choice, you know, this is all your choice. It's not, you know, that choice you need to make is do something that's good for you, or completely ignore everything and just stay in this place that you are currently. And I can't imagine that it's, you know, a good thing or a good place to be. So I advise you, as your online tarot reader, that step into that room and start working on your shadow. It's not going to go away. Our shadow self is not something that goes away once, you know, we shine some light on it. It's gonna become our integral part. This is the part of ourselves. If you don't know, if you've never done any shadow work, and I should have said that earlier, I'm sorry. And these are the things that we're not proud of, that we're usually ashamed, because these are the part of ourselves that are the not good, or, you know, part. We're not all good or all bad people. We're good people trying our best to be better, but fucking things up a lot of times, and saying things we didn't mean, hurting people and stuff like that. Sometimes these things are an integral part of ourselves, and all we can do is just work on, you know, making them better, but they're not gonna disappear. So don't expect that. Don't expect whatever your shadow is about to just disappear. But if you do the work, you can expect that integrating it in such a way that you're going to be more whole, because you will know yourself better. So you will know that there are certain situations in life where that is triggering for you for some reason, and sometimes you can't do anything about being triggered. But you can do is not get into that situation. And let's say you get angry when you're drinking, and you tried a lot, and, you know, you tried different alcohols, you tried different amount of alcohol, thinking that you might be able to find a way not to get angry, but it keeps happening. You get angry when you drink. You can change the fact that you're getting angry when you drink, but you can change the fact that you're not, you know, drinking or not. Because which one is more important, drinking or going into a situation when you know that you're gonna hurt people? And those choices are going to be very important. I also don't think that this work is going to be quick. It's going to start in January, but it's going to take you maybe a lifetime. But you're gonna feel much better once you start with it. Okay, so this is your monthly reading. Hope this is useful. Please do comment down below, let me know how it resonates. It's just quite interesting and quite heavy. So I'm gonna go and do something to lift my mood up. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope this helped, because that's what I'm doing. And please share this video with other people if you think that, you know, they can find value in it, because that helps my channel. Thank you so much. Bye.